Hello and very warm welcome to Dr. Ahmed YouTube channel. Today in this video we shall be talking about chapter 27 of the novelized Candyman by Bapsi Sidhwa. This chapter is of its own significance, and everybody knows that Ice Candyman is written on the history of Pakistan. Rather, it captures the moment of 1947 when Pakistan was being created, and a little days before it and a few days after that. But most of the descriptions are painful. They're not right one. But in such a situation, the writer has tried to make us understand a very unique situation. For this purpose, she has included chapter number 27. Chapter 27 carries a story which is told by Hamida, one of the migrant women who is herself suffering. But she tells a story to Samal, a girl who is a narrator of this novel, and she listens to that story, but that story is actually meant not for her 100%. It is meant for all the audience, all the people who should listen to this story and try to understand what actually goes on in this world. For this purpose, let me take you to the chapter 27. So here is chapter 27, and it has got number of pages which we can leave because it's a repetition of the history. But here is the Tiger and Prince story that has been present here. Well, if the students want, they can go through these 3-4 passages which records the story of the tiger and that of the prince. According to the story, let me read the first passage and then a few selected lines. Once upon a time, there was a king who had no children, says Hamida. Night and day, the king and his queen prayed for a son. They traveled afar, visiting on holy man after another, and visited all the shrines of saints in their kingdom. The queen wove temple saris for the various goddesses, stuck flowers in their images, and covered the goddesses with gold. Then, this one, as foretold, the royal couple was blessed with a beautiful son. The king and queen rejoiced and diligently distributed food and money among their poor subjects to improve the condition of their karmas and earn blessings. The prince grew tall and beautiful. He was compassionate and filled with laughter. The more they loved him, the more his subject feared the prophecy. And then it continues, then this paragraph, which is on the top of the page. Again, the hunters beat the bushes and searched the woods. There were no pug marks or droppings, even no trace to show that tigers had once inhabited the forest. And then ultimately, let's go to the end of the whole story. The war was almost over when the prince awakened from a terrifying dream. His frightened eyes opened on a finely wrought hunting scene painted on the ceiling. Royal huntsmen spears poised in varying attitudes of attack. Some surrounded a fierce tiger, bare fang, and richly stripped. Suddenly, the prince screamed and cried, "Oh, the tiger, he's got me." He fell back and, writhing in agony, died. All right, so that is the story. Well, let me repeat the story by telling my people that this story is about a king, his supposedly the son to be born, and about a tiger. According to the story, the king and queen didn't have a son at all, and they prayed to everybody, and they prayed to gods, and they then went to different holy men as well. Ultimately, one person told them that a son will be born to them, but that son, as soon as he grows up, will be eaten up by the tiger. So if the king can save him, possibly it is there. The prophecy fulfilled. The son was born, and in order to keep him safe, extraordinary measures were taken. It was taken care that there is no tiger available in the whole of the kingdom. As soon as the prince grew up, he wanted to go on hunting, and for this purpose again, the fear was present in the mind of the king and the queen, so they wiped all the jungles and forests in order to see if there is any tiger available. The tigers were finished, and there was no sign of that at all, so they became satisfied. Everybody was happy that the prophecy is half fulfilled, it's not fulfilled. But one day, what happened? That the prince came to the court, and there he fell asleep. But all of a sudden, he got up crying that the tiger is going to kill me, the tiger is going to kill me. There was no tiger at all. But on the walls of the darbar or the king's court, there was a picture, a painting in which tiger was shown, which was fearful, which was so, terrifying. And that was, the picture contained also some of the human beings who were there to killing the tiger. But the prince looked at that and said that the tiger has killed me, the tiger has taken me, and ultimately he died. Now, what does the story teach? That human beings are helpless. They are helpless against their destiny. They are helpless against the fate. And because of that, whatever measures may be taken, human measures cannot be that sufficient. What is to come, it is to come. What will be, shall be. Chi sira sira, as Dr. Faustus would say. So, in that way, what I am going to say here is that the fate of such people who wanted to make Pakistan, wanted to make India for the solution of their problems, the fate was there to create ever new problems for them. Like Hamida's problems are there. Hamida, for example, she's working as a servant, but she was not a servant before partition or before migration. She was raped on the way, and then she was expelled to Pakistan. She was not going back to her family by thinking that she will be considered a dishonored woman and she will not be accepted. So in that way, number of other women's stories was also present. So migration resulted in the destruction of certain people whose destruction was to happen whether it's migration or not. So helplessness of man against the schemes and plans of nature, that has been the theme of all that. So partition may be solving some of the issues, but it's creating the other issues as well. So the story discussed, there is not much important in this chapter, just a ground is prepared further for the new chapter here. That is what we will be looking at. So that is why let me take to the text. Okay, after Hamida's story, Tiger's story, we have a few passages which are very small here, for example, talking about many things. And now here we shall find neighbors and servants already form a small crowd. Imam Din, one leg on the ground and one on the kitchen steps, has a huge black and barrel scarred cat trapped on the screen door and is pressing his whole weight on the frame to hold the slippery intruder. The cat, caught below its ribs, is suspended a foot off the floor, frantically twisting its teeth bare. The panicked creature is spitting wildly. Imam Din roared, "That's all teach you to sneak into the kitchen. You one-eared monster, make all the noise you want. I am not letting go of you, you badmash billah." When you look at this passage, definitely we have a very strange type of comparison that could be established here. In the last pages, we had a tiger which was responsible for killing, one young man, even if he was a prince. But here we have another tiger which is very small and miniature. That's a cat which has been captured, beaten up, and handled by Imam Din, the cook in the story. He has captured a billah or a cat, and he's saying that he will not let it go at all, and he wants to teach him a lesson. But of course, there will be some other things too. Let us see what happens to this cat story. Here, when we go down, we know that Imam Din has captured all that. Imam Din. Further, the writer describes this. Yusuf leads Imam Din into the kitchen. Hamida and I follow. Hamida saying in her conciliatory and submissive manner, "What if Beji had a whip brother? What would you have done then? Oh no, look at the tears in your clothes," she exclaims. "Chit, chit, chit. Don't worry, I shall sew them so they shall look like new." Imam Din refuses to have his clothes mended and remains sullen all afternoon. Now, why is Imam Din sullen when he has captured the cat, when he has, removed the source of destruction of the chickens and that of the eatable materials inside the kitchen? Why is Imam Din sad? Because what happened when Imam Din was just about to beat the billah or the cat more, the woman of the house, she came up and she chastised Imam Din very much. "Why you are doing this with the cat? Why have you done it?" And same was also asked by the master of the house. So Imam Din, instead of giving some type of recommendation, admiration for his job, he was chastised, and that is why he became very much sullen, very much upset. He was rather bitten by the madam or the or the woman of the house. He was bitten with a fly catcher. He was bitten with that, and that's why his clothes were torn, and that's why he got injuries also. That's why he had to leave the cat as well. That is why Hamida is found here saying that he will be sewing the clothes of Imam Din. But he was refusing. He was sad and upset. Father lost a cycle. Now, this paragraph describes what was the reaction of the father, a comparatively mild reaction, laughing reaction, and he was not like his wife. He was trying rather to calm down the wife also. He was trying to calm down other people as well. So in that way, the last passage of the chapter is here. They only pretend to look for her. Mother still takes off the Morris, but I know it is not to look for Aya. I can tell by the way the car's wheel flatten on the stones and by the determined angle of skinny aunt's chin that the car's dicky is loaded with petrol. They can set fire to the world for all I care. I want my Aya. Now, this last passage of the chapter is entirely different from the stories that we have read on the top of this chapter. That is the tiger story, then the cat story, Mamdin story. We have a very different story here. That is actually the stage being set for further coming happenings. That Aya has been abducted, and everybody wants to know where Aya is, and that is why it is Lenny's biggest demand. Lenny's child's biggest demand that Aya should be found, and her mom daily says that she is going in her Morris, the car, the German car title is name is Morris, and in that car, her aunt is also going in. They are going to get a lot of petrol from here and there, and that petrol is present in their car also. So they mainly go to get petrol and then to deliver petrol to their relatives so that in their cars they can move out of Pakistan, they can go to India. They wanted to support these people. But they would say to Lenny that they are going in search of Aya as well. So that story will also be repeated again and again, and we will be told what these women were doing and what is the role of these women in finding out petrol for their relatives, so that their friends, so that they can leave on in their cars by getting the petrol. So this is what the chapter is about. Very significant, very interesting indeed. That on the one hand, if the tiger is so powerful, or anything other like tiger is so powerful, it can eat out anybody, even from the picture, even from the painting. But if the tiger is like a cat, it can be held by the simple person cook, that is Imamdin, and killed as well. So that is the matter of power also. That's the matter of destiny also. That if you are powerful, definitely you may be able to control your destiny. And if you are not powerful, then surely the destiny is going to control you. These are the controversial issues, not that original one. This can also be symbolically taken that India was such a powerful kind of country, such a big country, and that was, divided into different parts. As a result, it became big, but it has its influence. Same is the case with the cat as well, that the small countries which are created out of India may not be that powerful, and they may be needing the support of certain other people as well. So this is my interpretation of the symbol here. That's not definitely the interpretation of everybody. You can disagree with that as well. So that is the discussion on this chapter 27 of the novelized Candyman by Bapsi Sidhwa. Thank you for watching, and if you like it, do not fail to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. So far, till that time, we meet in next video. Keep happy, keep peaceful, keep loving.